What's up, everybody?
My name is Anthony Irvin.
You beat yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, CB myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm Jim Green.
Don't even need a hit of traffic light.
Okay, good.
Welcome to
One set.
What's Up, everybody? Welcome back to another brand new episode of the One Set Podcast. My name is Anthony Irvin. I'm here with my co-host and best friend, Jim Green. What's going on, buddy?
Anth, what is good? I will tell you what's good. I am not wasting any time talking about like my weekend and all of that. I don't want to say waste time. I just want to really get into this.
It was eventful.
Yeah. I mean, I know, wow, I sound like a total
Whoopsie.
saying waste time talking about the weekend. Part of that weekend was celebrating your son Grayson's first birthday. I was happy to be there because your other son's birthday lands on a big work weekend for me, and I tend to miss that one. So it was nice to get there, and I feel like in the handful of times that I saw Grayson this past year, I feel like right when Cheyenne and I walked in, it was just like the way it worked out. We said hello to everyone in like your front living room space, and then we moved back.
Yeah.
And I think he was with you, and then he started making his way towards Cheyenne, and she was holding him, and she was like, just like Lil Tone's first birthday, he just like laid right on her.
Right. Yep.
And I was like,
just friendly. He'll go to anybody,
Yeah.
and he's still in like a mommy mode though. Like there's times where if he's holding on to Jen and I'll be like, wanna come? He's like, he'll just like go snuggle up to her. I'm like, okay, bye.
Yeah.
But usually he's good with anybody. And it was cool to see everybody, and now the fact that we're working on him walking, he's actually taken like a step. So he's been able to just start standing up by himself and getting his balance. Now we're trying to get him to take that first like step or two, and he is like taking a step, and then he'll get like one or two and then fall. So we're just trying to help him out, get those first couple in there. So we're like, yeah, it's about to happen. We're probably gonna be having another walking toddler in about another month or two. So it's gonna be fun again in the Irvin household.
how long I'm guessing you're saying another month. Was that about how long it was for Lil Tone when he first started standing and taking his step before he started like
I think
walking?
so. I think in maybe, I'd say 13, 14, 15 months he was doing it, and I think maybe a little after his birthday. I think Grayson maybe been a little bit faster with standing up on his own, but I think Anthony definitely after his first birthday, he started making the strides to get up and start standing on his own, and then it just came really quick. Where Grayson, he started standing up on his own like earlier last month,
Sooner, but he's taking his time to get to.
but he's taking his time to get that first step. Like we were working with him tonight, and he's we're trying to give him things to like look at and give him the incentive to move forward. So I think he's just starting to try to build that confidence to get that first step in the rhythm. So, but he definitely knows what he's doing, because you can take his hand and start moving his momentum forward, and he can walk.
Yeah,
I
had him moving a little bit on his feet, like before we had left on Saturday.
Yeah, so he definitely knows what to do. It's just once he has like the freedom to do it by himself, it's just getting his own body weight to move.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it's going to be like, okay, he can do it on his own, because he definitely knows the motion. It's just doing on his own. It's going to take a little bit, but he's
learning,
and definitely. Yeah, and outside of that, we had I'm going to be honest, the games weren't like all spectacular. I gotta say the biggest out of the wild card weekend, and we're going to talk a little wild card weekend this week, but I gotta say, probably the most eventful game out of all of them probably was the Commanders and the Buccaneers
Have to agree.
on you know, well, it was Sunday. So, because that was, back and forth up until like the last 5-10 minutes of the game that it really got decided. And, hey, our Eagles won. We didn't look too great. Our defense kept us in that game for sure. But for Jalen, I think we all expected him to play a little rough. I mean, he hasn't played in about a month. So unless you're just a freak god, you're going to expect a little rust. I don't think he played bad. It's not like he turned the ball over, but I think the offense as a whole, the first quarter was pretty good, but then it took a downslide. I'm not sure what you think.
My thought on it is like I don't think it was just Jalen being rusty. Like we have to remember he didn't practice, so like it
Exactly.
wasn't just oh he missed 2 games. He missed 2.5 weeks of practice, right? So I feel like his cohesiveness with the O line in general
Yeah,
just
exactly.
wasn't what it wasn't the standard, right? So I don't think it's per se him being rusty. I just think it was lack of uh consistently working with the O line and producing those results that we were used to seeing every week that they played.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing that I wasn't expecting. I was definitely not like upset with the fact like, oh, well, the O line should have been better. I mean, we definitely know we have had better games where we've been more dominant and played way better. It's just everybody's like, well, they got to definitely turn up next week. I think now that Jalen's back, he has the rust out of him. I think he knows better now to be like, okay, now that I've got that game out of the way, thankfully we've got the win. Now I'm ready to get back and get into practice, really get myself ready for the next one because you know now that we're playing the Rams, uh, they looked pretty decent, against the Vikings, which I was surprised about the Vikings. I thought they did not come out and play the best game that I thought they were going to be able to play. So I'm not sure if it was just because the Rams were playing in their home stadium and they got the upper hand, or if it was just again the Vikings just not having one of those games. But uh, I think we probably got the better hand out of the potential teams to play in this division round. Because if the Commanders would have lost to the Bucks would have came here. The Bucks have been playing decent, but you know, I wasn't aware that if the Commanders were going to win, that they were going to be facing the Lions because the Lions face the lowest seed remaining.
Yep.
I was expecting for the Commanders to win and face us and have that revenge match. But once I was seeing that, well, if they win, we don't get to face them anyway. So I'm like, all right, well, whoever wins. But I was like hesitant on seeing the Bucks. So Commanders obviously pull out the win with the Bucks, and they pull off that upset. Uh, and then we watch the game on Monday night. Rams pull out the win with the Vikings, so we get the Rams on Sunday. But there were other games earlier on that Saturday. The first one being the Bills and the Broncos, which I almost thought the Broncos were going to pull it out in the beginning because the Bills had a rough start.
Yeah, I mean, I will say the um two games that I didn't really get to see that much. Um the Chargers Texans game was Saturday afternoon 4:30.
Yeah,
Left Grayson's party, had a family Christmas party which kept getting pushed back due to China and I being sick. One week,
right,
one the
right,
other.
right.
So, at any rate, I didn't get to catch much of that game, but I was like, oh, Denver got that first touchdown in the first like 2-3 minutes of the game. This is going to be a doozy. And then they did
Yeah.
they did nothing after that. that
Yeah, again, that's another upset I think for the week because I don't think anybody expected the Texans to come out and beat the Chargers. So you know
I
they just
yeah,
yeah
I think that the Chargers had been playing kind of just inconsistent, not super cohesive ball. Like
right.
they managed to squeeze out the wins that they did based on who they played, but
Hmm.
I I think it's safe to say Justin Herbert, maybe not the elite quarterback that they thought that he would be, or
No,
he
no,
needs to play for a different coach on a different team with
right.
different weapons. I mean, I don't know. Um, yeah, Chargers didn't look at from what I watched from that game. Chargers did not look like they deserved to make it past the first round. They just
Yeah, the Texans made the Chargers made the Texans look like a very dominant team, which the Texans did not have that great of a season. Uh, but they obviously made it into the playoffs. But I mean, they're facing the Chiefs this coming weekend. So I'm like, I am highly doubting they're going to get past the Chiefs. You know, because the Chiefs are high and mighty. So they are the true babies of the NFL. So you're not going to be going into the Chiefs Stadium in a playoff game and winning. Unless
uh,
somebody's calling the game rigged.
yeah, I mean it would it would literally just take Patrick Mahomes getting injured, and I'm not wishing that on him whatsoever. I'm not
Yeah,
even saying
it
that,
would.
but
You would have to get
Carson
Patrick
and
Mahomes
put Carson Wentz
and
in, and the
yeah,
Texans
just
can win.
totally like flopping. Like, here we go.
But I mean, Carson Wentz, we dogged on him right when he played that last game, but none of the starters played the Chiefs last game.
No,
So
no. And like I said, I think we've talked about. I mean, I felt bad for him because I mean,
yeah,
I was actually excited to turn on the game and be like, hey, here's Wentz. We haven't seen like an actual game where Wentz was actually playing a full game in a long
and
time,
it was embarrassing to the point of
and it was an
it,
embarrassing game. So I'm
it
like,
was sad, like you said.
I felt bad for the guy because he just can't catch a break at this
No,
point.
no, it's I do feel for the guy definitely. Just couldn't bounce back after the injuries in 2017
Yeah.
or 2016, right? Um, so where where were we?
I was just kind of going all over this thing,
It's
but
okay.
we didn't talk about the Steelers and the
I
Ravens.
was I was
That
I
was
was talking about Justin Herbert not being the elite quarterback that everyone thought that he could be.
yeah, that was the original topic we were going off of before that. But yeah, saying talking about Justin Herbert now, you know, yeah, it's just the Chargers did not come to play that day.
Mm-mm.
I'm not sure. I mean, they were managed. The final score was 32-12, which they got some points on the board, but again, they made the Texans look pretty supreme. And again, could have just been the fact that the Texans were playing at home, so they had that home field, uh, you know, bite to them. So everything really puts on being at home rather than being away.
Yeah,
But who knows if the Chargers were home, would have been different. But you know, they pulled out the upset as well.
yeah. Let's talk about the Steelers Ravens game. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
tough, man. Cheyenne being from Central PA, which is more Steelers country than Eagles country.
It's another team that we can say it's like you feel bad for them because they keep on getting to that spot and they just can't get over it.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin has been legendary coach. I mean,
Yeah.
he's been their coach for like 18 years, something like that. I'm saying 18 because that's about what I had heard. He had been around for a
Yeah.
long time. It's been a long time, and it seems like he's not going anywhere. Like that's what's being said is he doesn't have to worry about losing his job like a lot of the other
Nah,
coaches.
I don't see him losing his job.
I think there's definitely going to be changes in like maybe coordinators or
Probably.
they Russell Wilson's better days are behind him, kind of like Aaron Rodgers.
For sure.
Just kind of like you need a better, like you need a better quarterback situation in there. And Pickens just has potential, but he misses on clutch moments, man. Yeah, Steelers got spanked bad.
Have you ever wanted to start your podcast but didn't know where to start? The One Set Bros are here to talk to you about Zencaster. Zencaster is the ultimate base podcasting solution and now the all-in-one podcasting platform, making podcasting easy. They've sure made it easy for us to be able to record our podcast and our episodes every week for you guys. Once you've set up your account, you're simply one click away from recording a high-quality podcast with studio-quality sound and up to 4K video with your guests. My personal favorite feature is their multi-layer backups, which ensure our recordings are always in the highest quality, even during unstable web connections. And if you thought you needed multiple tools and services for your podcast, Zencaster's all-in-one podcasting platform allows you to create your podcast all in one place and distribute to Spotify, Apple, and other major destinations. Go to Zencaster.com/pricing and use our code OneSetPod, and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencaster paid plan. I want you to have the same easy experiences we do with all our podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story.
Yeah, I was expecting it to be a little bit more competitive. Thought the Steelers might crank out a couple good drives that were decent, and
I don't think I got to see
you,
the
you were busy getting ill is what was happening.
I was a little ill.
Yeah.
So I did not see the Steelers Ravens game. I think I probably checked the game after like 10, 11 o'clock, and I'm like, all right, let me at least just check the score and see what happened. I'm like, all right, the Ravens won. Cool. All right.
And then
back to puking.
Too much fun at the party, huh?
Too much fun. Yeah. And no, for the record, people, I did not get drunk at my my 1-year-old's party. We were going through a whole like stomach virus thing, and I was one of the ones that got it. So yeah. I no matter what stomach bugs go around, I always get it.
Lucky dad over there.
Oh, lucky me.
Yeah. Fortunately, you were able to recuperate Sunday and make it to work Monday.
Yes. So thankfully that did not take me out for too long.
Yeah.
But what was we went
the
briefly over the Eagles game, but like I said, Eagles, I thought our defense is definitely going to be a factor for a lot of teams if we are going to make it to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Our defense is so tight to the point where
even though our offense was not up to par this past weekend, we still won the game because defense.
We still won the game because of our defense.
Held us down is what happened.
It did, yeah. So we were able to make plays. We got Jordan Love to make 3 or 4 interceptions in the game, which was like not something he's used to doing. So we had one big play by Slay. Then we had the beginning of the game with the opening kickoff. They turned over the ball with that. Then there was an interception in the red zone, or just about near the red zone. So, there was like 3 or 4 different plays where we were able to get the defense to, get the ball back for us. Now,
the fumble at the beginning of the game to start out, where we were able to,
that set the tone throughout the whole game.
Yeah, I mean, but we were able to score off of that fumble, that forced fumble.
Yes,
but then we struggled to score after that. So
we did
again,
especially with the times where we got the ball back from said interception or a 3 and out. We were unable to at least get another 7 points or a field goal. I know Jake Elliott missed a field goal during the game.
Extra point.
That was right. He missed the extra point for a touchdown, which he's starting to scare me a little bit.
Yeah, it's you're in the postseason. You don't get to miss extra points because every
No,
point matters, man. Like
it does.
so,
So when the Packers were within a touchdown, I'm like, all right, we need to at least get 3 here. So if they score, we're still up, and we have a little bit of advantage. So we were at least able to get 3. But again, our defense was just solid with keeping them either into field goals or not letting them score in the red zone.
yeah,
So we got to give it up to our defense for being the way they are, because like you said, when our offense wasn't up to par and not playing good, the defense was like, cool, you guys are having a hard time, don't worry, we're gonna keep this game going for you.
uh, just gotta acknowledge.
We'll give you guys another
Yeah,
chance.
just gotta acknowledge though. We lost N'Kobe Dean. He
Yeah,
N'Kobe Dean has a torn patella tendon, I believe it is. He is done for the season.
he's done for the he's done.
That is,
I did not see the result of it, but yeah, if that's what it says, yeah, he's out for the year. So that's another big
it's a pretty big
loss
hit
for us.
Pretty big hit to the defense, and I mean we lost Brandon Graham,
Yeah,
and everyone was like, that's significant. We still managed to crank out the wins that we did the rest of the season.
and I think that shows like the depth that we have.
Mm-hmm.
That we have guys that if one person goes down, we have 1 or 2 of the guys that can fill in those spots and know what they're doing, and it's like it's not going to really hinder what progress we've made. Like they're already knowing what their role is, what they need to do, and so because most of the times when you have those main guys and starters that come out, you're having a guy that's maybe only had a couple reps with the defense. But it seems like when you're having these guys come out, they already have a fresh guy who's already ready. He's know what he's doing, and he doesn't miss a step. So and that was showing in the game that even though we lost N'Kobe Dean, our defense was still solid and still taking it to them.
Yeah, and
so
I
all in all, I mean, the defense is definitely going to continue to help us, but we obviously should hopefully see more from the offense next week with the Rams.
think it's a must. I
Yeah.
think that that lack of scoring in the first half even, can't be slow on getting the upper hand early on, right?
Because definitely if you give Stafford some time to throw and hit those targets,
he's going to connect.
It's going to be a long. He will connect, and it's going to be a long night. So defense, both teams, both sides definitely have to be back on track. But especially the offense, obviously. But we definitely got to get to Matthew Stafford, and stopping certain people. So hopefully, they're looking at the tape. Hopefully they're looking at tapes. They're definitely looking at tapes.
Yeah.
But we're just gonna take it easy this week.
Yeah. No, I will say, as far like just to wrap up Eagles, I am glad that Saquon Barkley just slid. He's like, we won the game. We're done. I don't need to. Sirianni's like, why didn't you just run it all the way to the end zone? And it's like, why don't
no mas?
Yeah, just Sirianni, why don't you run it all the way to the end zone? Saquon Barkley, you didn't even play me the last game to let me go for the freaking record. So
right,
so
yeah.
Let's stay consistent here and say we need to just do what's necessary to get the wins and conserve our energy so that we can keep playing, right?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's situational. Like he said, it's situational football. You never know. If I could have kept on running, I could have got hurt. Another person could have got hurt, and then you're out for the next week. So you knew at least a first down ices the game. Get the first down, take a slide, and all you have to do is knee it, and the game's over.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for Saquon to know that situation was perfect.
Yeah.
So
I think that as far as the Packers are concerned, I don't really care about them. So
they did lose a lot of guys.
They were dropping.
That definitely did not help them.
They were dropping like flies all through the game. I do feel bad for those guys all that got hurt. Like, I'm not saying I don't really care about them. the team. I think that there is some curse on that team for Aaron Rodgers to have played for them as long as he did, and for
Yeah,
what did he get, one Super Bowl or no Super Bowls? I forget.
I think it was one,
I think he got one.
at least one.
Um, yeah, I was looking through. There was some picture that showed like all of the Super Bowl matchups with the scores, like in the Super Bowl era, and I was like just breezing through that real quick. Um, to see like which ones I remembered like going out of my way to watch, and because I know up until I'd say even 10 years ago I wasn't going out of my way to watch Super Bowl. But I do remember where the Broncos and the Seahawks were playing. I think it was 2015 Super Bowl, and it was like it was a blowout. I think the Seahawks won like 48-7 or something like that.
Hmm.
Broncos did not have Peyton Manning yet. But
Yeah,
then they got him a few years later, and then he won the Super Bowl with them and then retired, which I thought was just a
one way to go out. Yeah,
great way to go out. Brady could have done that, should have done that.
should have.
But any rate, as far as the Rams go, I know that the few times that I did get to see them play throughout the season, um, they looked really dominant in some games. I mean, the Bills game where Josh Allen got the 3 running touchdowns and the 3 passing touchdowns,
Yeah,
and they lost the game. The Rams won 44-42.
yeah,
For the Rams to have pulled off that win against the Bills is scary, but they did that in LA at home, and the Rams are coming to Philly. Um, I won't get to watch the game this weekend because I am working a rehearsal. But the same company that I'm working the rehearsal for, I had to miss the Vikings Eagles conference championship game uh, the year we won the Super Bowl. So I'm like, all right, maybe it's a good thing that I'm missing it. Maybe it's good stuff, but
yeah. I mean, it definitely feels a lot better that we're playing at home
mhm,
rather than having to go to
yeah,
LA. Because I mean, we beat them earlier in the season in LA, which again we thought that was going to be one of their
yep.
losses. But
I think postseason, if we had to go to LA, would be just
definitely different story.
different story.
But
Granted,
like I was saying, I think they're definitely a different team than what they were back in Week 13. So, uh, again, playoff football is totally different than regular season. So you're in a totally different mindset. So it's going to be a game.
absolutely,
But I still think we're the better team.
I think so too. And I do want to say, shout out to the Rams for picking up the win for LA in Arizona because of the wildfires, right? And our hearts definitely go out to everyone in LA that are suffering from the insane fires that are going on.
Yes, very horrible.
Yeah,
very horrible.
So I'm sure. Well, Rams wouldn't be playing in their stadium the rest of the season, like the rest of the playoffs anyway, because they're playing. They'd be playing higher seeds if they continue. Obviously, they're playing us. But they pulled out a win for LA in a time where any positive energy is welcome there for sure. Like I would imagine people have something good to look forward to going through all of the things that they're going through.
True.
But that luck is likely not going to run past this weekend. Hate to say. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking that, at least they got the win, but, hey.
What?
They're coming to Philly, so, it's also them.
Let's talk about the... Well, we didn't talk about the... Well, we said the Commanders-Bucks game was the most exciting. There was a mistimed snap and handoff situation from the Falcons, the Buccaneers, that led to the fumble that basically ended the game. I mean, the Commanders...
Okay, yeah, that's right, yeah.
Commanders moved it up the field, ran the clock down, got that field goal, and that's all she wrote. I mean, it was a. I mean, I'm texting you. I'm like, this is a fun back and forth game. Like either one,
Yeah.
but you had the seventh seed Commanders playing the third seed, um, third seed, yeah, third seed Buccaneers. Buccaneers were 10-7,
Yeah.
and the Commanders were 12-5. They're talking about. I read something today. They're talking about adjusting the bracket lineup and getting rid of the like if you're a division leader, um, like if you won your division, you're like third or fourth seed, just like the third and fourth seed for, I think it was the NFC West, which was the Rams, right, and the NFC South, which wound up being the Bucks being in the third seed.
Yeah.
I think they're talking about like yeah, if you're the division winners, you get to go to the postseason, but they're going to rank your seeding once you get there, um, based off of your regular season record. So they would drop in seeding, and someone like the Commanders that were, you know, the seventh seed, but they have the higher record would bump them up in the postseason bracket. But
Right.
I kind of think it makes sense because then the people with the higher regular season record will get the home field advantage, right? I think it makes sense. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. It's certainly interesting to think about if they try to move on with that.
yeah,
You know.
the Vikings Rams game. I mean, Sam Darnold had I think turned the ball over 8 or 9 times, something like that. It was like
Yeah.
it was the most turnovers from a quarterback in a playoff game ever.
I was gonna say even in a regular season game, but a playoff game, can't do that and expect to win.
Can't. And people are saying he is. People were saying today he's still the number one free agent quarterback. I'm like, I can't see that. I can't see that being
Like,
right.
yes and no.
Yeah, but I will say the Rams having such a dominant win over the Vikings gives them that confidence coming to Philly. That's something to be
for sure
a little concerned about. But
yeah.
I still think the Eagles get the win. Let's go through the division round.
I was gonna say let's get to the divisional round. I want to start off with what I've told you all weekend is probably the best game of the weekend, the highlight game, which is the Ravens versus the Bills.
Easy.
That is going to be a hell of a game.
Can't wait.
I cannot wait to see that.
I'll miss the first hour of that game, but I'll get to watch the rest of it. So that
because I'm a fan of both quarterbacks, so I kind of root for both of them a little bit in the playoffs when they're outside of playing us. So you know, and I think they both are at that spot where they get to a certain point and they can't get over that hump. So the Ravens were in the AFC Championship game last year, where the Bills, I think they can't they've either gotten to the AFC Championship or they lose in this second round. So they've been going back and forth between either this second round or the AFC Championship. So like they're both teams are kind of been juggling between these two rounds for the last couple of years, and they can't seem to get through them. So it's going to be interesting because they know that this game is big for both of the teams and their franchises, franchises, French fries. They're
dad mode.
Yeah. Ugh. But yeah, that's gonna be I'm expecting a hard fought game between the Ravens and the Bills.
I mean, you have your two top MVP candidate quarterbacks facing off against each other. I'm excited for the game. I
can't say anything more about it. It's gonna be a great game.
I tend to like the Bills a good bit. Like I go out of my way to like try to watch their games if I can.
Yeah.
I would like for them to win, but I'm also excited to see either one of those teams play the Chiefs in the AFC Championship.
Yeah.
I I think the Bills are going to do it just because they're home, and I think that
That definitely gives them the better
yeah,
advantage. So
I, I think it's going to be a super close game. Um,
yeah,
but if it's not, I would be way surprised. Okay.
yeah, I might have to take the Bills on that one too, knowing that they're home.
Yeah. Um, Chiefs Texans. I don't think we're expecting a close game here.
No, if the Texans blow out an upset with the Chiefs, then that's going to be amazing. But
Yeah.
I highly doubt it. I got the Chiefs and then the Bills in the AFC Championship for sure for that.
The only thing is, I would like the Texans to give the Chiefs like a run a little bit, like to
Yeah,
make it a little competitive, just so it's not an easy breezy game for the Chiefs. Because then, if they face whoever they face the next week, it's going to be like, oh, they had 3 weeks off, and they
yeah,
blew through the Texans. They would have like they're going to have the upper hand going into either the Ravens or Bills having fought a hard fought game. Um,
yeah, yeah. Because like you said, I mean, you got Texans or the Chiefs who have had a week plus off going into this Texans game, so they're going to be a lot more fresh than the Texans as it is. And then Chiefs hypothetically saying that they win going into the AFC Championship, and then the winner from the Bills and Ravens, that's gonna be a hard fought game going into 1 week. So they're gonna be beat up. And the Chiefs, you know, they will have a game, but they're roughly still gonna be a lot more healthier because either one of those teams have been playing for the last 2 weeks.
yeah, it's again just hard to bet against the Chiefs, especially
It really is right now.
when
You know,
especially when you consider everything you just said. It's just like if if the Bills can manage to beat them and get to the Super Bowl, damned be the team that faces them, whether it's the Eagles or the Lions. Like,
if the Chiefs and the Bills meet in the AFC Championship, I will be rooting for the
oh,
Bills for sure.
for sure.
You know, I did that last time they were facing each other. I was rooting for the Bills all the way.
Yeah.
So because I want to see Allen get over that hump. I do. And if it's Ravens, I would be doing the same thing. I want them to get over that hump.
Commanders Lions, I just can't see the Lions losing to the Commanders.
No.
I think that the Commanders getting their first win, their first playoff win in 20 years, that's
Yeah.
great for them. That is a sign of better things to come in their future. But I think getting that one win, is their ceiling right now, especially going
Yeah.
up against the
I
Lions.
I don't even think Commanders fans are expecting to win next week. If they do,
I think
cool.
they're just
But
happy that they got that first playoff win.
they're
Yeah.
like Jen's cousin, he was saying this past week, and he's like, I'm just happy we're 12-5 this year. You know, I mean, uh, not even expecting to be in the playoffs. Now we got a playoff win, and I'm sure he's saying the same thing. He's like, hey, I mean, even if we win or lose next week, it's still a great season for us. He's like, I've been waiting so long to have this type of season. So I mean, hey, and they have the quarterback now. He's in his rookie year, and hey, for a rookie quarterback to make it into the divisional round of the playoffs. I mean, we don't have the statistic right in front of us, but how many starting QBs, rookie QBs, get to go that far into the playoff division round in their first year?
Yeah,
So
I think C.J. Stroud, his first year with the Texans, they went to the postseason. Like they managed to get to the
that's right.
postseason.
I think I remember them saying his first year that he did go pretty far. I think they didn't make it to the AFC, but yeah. So
I think they got out the first round of the playoffs, but still, he was a rookie quarterback, and they got.
I guess you can say how many quarterbacks have done that,
Yeah,
and you can put yourself in that category.
We know Trevor Lawrence didn't.
No. So I mean, it's definitely something to put yourself into a category for. So, uh, you know, but again, I think the Lions pulled off being at home. Commanders being the most unexperienced. You know.
Let's make picks for the scores for these games.
Okay.
Let's start with the first seed and low seed games. Chiefs Texans. What do you think?
I'm going to say. Now, I'm not going to make it as like a too much of a blowout game, but I don't think the Texans are going to get past 10. So I'd say, and I'm thinking Chiefs. I'll say 27-10.
Okay.
I think that's a reasonable score.
You don't think it's going to be a blowout game? I'm going to go the other way and say it's going to be 38-16.
Okay,
That is
and that's still reasonable too.
that's the Chiefs getting 5 touchdowns and 1 field goal, and that is
Yeah.
the Texans getting 1 touchdown and 3 field goals, and 38-16.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna pick a game where there is a blowout, I think it's that one.
Right.
Just because I think the Commanders are good enough to give the Lions a little bit of a run. I think that game's going to be a little bit closer. But yeah, I can definitely see the Chiefs being well rested and just plowing right through the Texans.
Yeah. I already had just picked a score for the Bills and the Ravens, so let's do this next. So I'll give you my score. I think this is going to be going down to the wire. I think this is going to be a 24-27.
I like that.
It's gonna be down to a field goal, I think.
I like that, and I think it's going to be like a 33-30 kind of game. I like down to the wire. I like just one of them getting the win. I mean, that was the Chiefs and Eagles. It was just the Chiefs winning by a field goal, right?
Yep.
So I think it's going to be very similar. I think that there's going to be, and we're both picking the Bills to win. I definitely think that there's going to be like some controversial call against the losing team that everyone's like, oh, if the refs didn't call that, it would have went the other way, kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, I mean, the refs are definitely getting their calls, and there's definitely been some horrible calls. There's been some missed calls, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, these refs are just unbelievable this year. But yeah,
I think it's going to be a very viral, controversial call that because
you think so?
Yeah, it one of those that like everyone's talking about, like, oh, this is get the refs out of there,
Right?
I think we're going to get one of those in that game. But I like 33-30. You said 27-24, right?
Yeah, 27-24 Bills.
I should be writing these down.
On the other side of the bracket, we have the Eagles and the Rams and the Lions and the Commanders. So while you're writing down those scores from the other, I'll start breaking down my scores. I would say Eagles and Rams. I mean, again, it could come down to the wire, depending on how the Eagles are playing. Because it's not an Eagles game without a little bit of a stressful situation. I think we all know. But I would probably say this will be 28-21 Eagles.
That's Eagles Rams. Anthony, say that one more time.
28-21 Eagles.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's a reasonable NFL score, but I think it could be.
You say 28-21?
28-21. I think that's...
Yeah, that's 4 touchdowns to 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. So that... Yeah. Okay.
What was your Chiefs-Texans score?
It was 27-10, I think.
Yeah, that sounds right. You said you didn't think the Texans were going to get more than 10.
Yeah.
1 touchdown, 1 field goal.
And then Bills was 27-24.
Yeah, I have that.
Bills.
Let me see. Eagles, Rams.
like I said, I this could go either way. Like I said, it can be right down to the wire, or hopefully on our side, we're playing it comfortably, and all we have to do is just lock down and run out the clock, and we're good for the last couple minutes. But hopefully we're leading by a touchdown at that point, and we just have to stop them, and we get a big stop, and all we have to do is just ice the clock.
Our defense is going to hold them up. I think they get 2 touchdowns.
Hmm.
And 3 field goals. Should be, yep, 23. I like it. I have 27-23. I think the Eagles are going to get 3 touchdowns and 3 field goals. No. 3 touchdowns.
24.
3 touchdowns is 21, and 2 field goals is 27.
Right.
And then I think the Rams are going to get 2 touchdowns and 3 field goals to make 23.
Cool.
I'm not even writing who we think is winning, because I think we're picking the same teams to win here, right?
Yeah, I think we're pretty similar on the wins.
Yeah. Okay. Commanders, Lions.
Now, I think I'll take this as my blowout one.
Okay.
I think this is where Commanders, take their hard L, where like, hey, we made it this far, but yeah, we got blown out. I think this is going to be, I'll give them 10. I think this might be like, I'll give Lions
something in the 30s.
Something in the 30s, yeah. I'll probably say 31 or 32.
31 would be 4 touchdowns and 1 field goal. So you want to go?
All right, so 31-10.
Okay. I liked that, but because I went with the blowout with the Chiefs Texans, I'm going to go for it.
So I think the Lions can put up some points against them, because like you said, you got a rookie quarterback. He's coming off of a lot of adrenaline, but as you go into the playoffs, you're playing better teams, and I don't think they've really played a team like the Lions all season. So this is where they get their butts whooped. I think this is going to be the unfortunate way to end a good season for them. But yeah, I'll say this might be the blowout game.
I think,
if not the Chiefs.
I think the Lions played. I thought the Lions played the Commanders. I'm just looking real quick.
Yeah, they do play the Commanders.
No, I thought that they did in the regular season.
I don't think so.
I'm not seeing it. Okay. I thought they did. I'm just checking one more time. No, they played the Cowboys.
I was going to say, they played the Cowboys.
They played the Giants in preseason. Interesting. They played the Bears. And they only won by 3, but that was November 28th.
Yeah, I think that was the
Black Friday
last week. Right?
Oh no, that was the Thanksgiving game.
Yeah.
And that was the Thanksgiving game, and they had a whole bunch of guys out on injury. So that's why it was a close game for the Bears.
That was one of those games where we wanted them to lose for us to hopefully
have the higher seed. Yeah.
Yeah, for us to keep the first place, but we lost to the Commanders. So we're like, well, that didn't end well.
Might as well just talk about the conference championships and the Super Bowl. I mean, we picked our 4 teams to go to the conference championships next weekend.
Let's just do that right now real quick.
Yeah, might as well.
Like I said, I'm going to say Chiefs and Bills in the AFC Championship. My heart wants to say Bills, but it's obviously going to be in Kansas City. It's going to be a hard-fought game, and it's so damn hard to pick against the Chiefs. I don't know. That's going to be hard. I'm going to go back to it, if we're saying Eagles and Lions, that's going to be in Detroit. It's going to be another hard fought game for the Eagles to try to get in and get out of that.
And again, your heart wants to say Eagles.
My heart wants to say Eagles, man. Yeah. I think it really depends on how we play this coming week, and if we win, how we're going to feel about that conference game.
Well, yeah, and again, if
And how the Lions do. I mean, if the Lions really struggle against the Commanders, it's going to be the same thing about the Eagles. Like, we're going to be really confident
well, and
about beating them.
especially if we blow out the Rams, like if the Rams come to Philly
Yeah,
and the Eagles do what they did to the Vikings, and just
right.
trounce them. I mean, they blew out the Vikings. I think it was 38-7 was the final score or something like that.
Yeah, so it can go a lot of different ways, but
As of right now, right? Um, and it's hard because the Chiefs and the Lions are both coming off of their bye week.
yeah,
Chiefs are used to this. I will say this. The Chiefs are 15-2. Their two losses. The second loss was their final game of the season where the starters all rested. Right.
yep.
So
I mean,
let's
I can't bet against the Chiefs. I mean, I'd love the Bills. I'm just gonna have to say Chiefs, man.
it's fine.
I think the Chiefs get back into the Super Bowl to try to go for their third repeat. You know what? I'm just gonna go with since I went with the realistic one on the other side. I'm gonna go with the heartistic one. I'm gonna say Eagles and the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. And you know what? I'm gonna go with my gut. I'm gonna say the Eagles win
I like it.
the Super Bowl.
I like it.
I'm doing
I
it.
like
You know
it.
what? So you get a little bit of realistic and you get a little bit of heart in there too. So I'm gonna say it's gonna be a repeat. Somehow the Eagles are gonna uh, beat the Lions somehow, some way. Our defense is gonna come up big. Jalen or AG Brown or somebody's going to make a big play in that game. Now saying a lot because we got to get through the Rams first, but you know, if we can make it through the Rams, something's going to happen in that. Just like how you were saying with the Ravens and the Bills having like a big referee thing, I think something's going to happen if we get through the Rams and the Eagles meet the Lions in Detroit. We're going to have a big defensive game. We're going to have a big defensive stop, or we're going to have a big Jalen, AJ Brown, Saquon Barkley moment that's going to ice the game. And it's going to be like, yeah, we're seeing the Chiefs again in the Super Bowl. And, we've seen the two teams before, and we were this close to beating them last time. So we know what they're about. So it's not like we can't say that we don't think we can beat them because we almost did. So
Yeah,
I think the Eagles learn from their mistakes, and because I think we are a better team than what we were in that last one with the Chiefs. So I'm just going with the heart one. I'm going to say Eagles win the Super Bowl.
nice.
I'm calling it now.
Okay, I like it. Um, I like kind of want to pick the exact opposition just to be different,
Yeah.
but um, man, that Eagles Lions game is so hard to pick.
It really is.
I tend to lean towards the Bills beating the Chiefs because the second loss that the Chiefs ate this season was to the Bills. It was in Buffalo, but I feel like there's so many stories to be had here, right?
The more you continue to play at the same team every year, the more chances you get to know about how that team is, though. So eventually, the team that continues to win is eventually going to get a loss because they're going to mess up somehow. They're going to, come. So I wouldn't be surprised that the Bills win. But again, it's hard to pick against the Chiefs. Now I didn't even say scores. I can't even think about scores right now. But maybe as that gets closer, we'll do scores. But we'll just stick with the picks at this point.
Yeah, next week we can talk a little bit about the conference championships, and then the week leading up to the Super Bowl, we'll do like an
Yeah.
in-depth discussion about that. Because the week leading up to the Super Bowl will be the episode after the Royal Rumble. So we have those two things to talk about in that one episode.
Yeah. And the night before the Super Bowl, I have a gig. So if the Eagles are in the Super Bowl, you know damn well I am pulling out a Fly Eagles Fly in the middle of my
You
set.
better.
Or even to end the set. So that's going to be fun.
You just have to. A must.
Gotta.
A must. I got a good amount of Eagles gear for Christmas, and I'm too old to be making a list. I don't like to make a list. I'm just kind of like not about like getting big presents like that anymore. I'm just like, hey,
I'm the same way.
Just want to be with the fam, see the people that I love. But I got this from my cousin Sandy, which is like
Nice.
it's like a lightweight hoodie. I wore it to teach tonight, and I was like, dude, perfect. It's not super insulated to just like go outside in.
Yeah, it's like that Michael Jordan hoodie you gave me. It's not too heavy, not too light, but it's a good like spring.
It's exactly like
sweatshirt.
That. Spring and fall.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
Cheyenne got me this guy right here. Nice little fitted. And then my parents got me this one here.
Nice.
And then my cousin also got me this beanie here. So I've got some. And my parents got me. This is pretty cool. It's Bird Gang. And then the back is like pretty neat.
Yeah, I saw the new slogan for Let's Hunt. So I might want to get a shirt that says Let's Hunt, but I'm the only shirts I might get is if we get into the conference game, I'll get a conference shirt, and if we get into the Super Bowl, if we win the Super Bowl, I'll get a shirt.
Go all
but
out.
Usually I will not get any more jerseys because if depending on how the rest of the season goes, I might want to get another jersey because I have the dark green, I have the Kelly green, and now I'm thinking I either want like the black or the white jerseys.
Mm-hmm.
So I might not get Hurts. I mean, everybody's thinking Barkley right now, but I might get Barkley or AJ Brown. So we'll see.
Yeah, I have.
But I do need a Birds hat. So I need to think about getting a Birds hat that can maybe like a universal Birds hat that I can wear with all the jerseys. So I don't have to buy so many different Birds hats to fit each one of my jerseys.
Yeah, I have way more Eagles stuff than I ever thought that I would. I bought those 2 hats in Lancaster before the season started, and
dude, just sports stuff in general for you, like because growing up with you, like you never used to wear any sports stuff. So I'm like, it's cool to see like starting to gather so many sports clothes. It's awesome.
I had one Allen Iverson T-shirt in 8th grade, the year they went to the finals in 2001, and like that's the only Sixers thing I remember. I didn't follow the Phillies like that.
It's cool because that's the last time the Sixers were actually relevant. So,
oh come on, guys. Yeah, it was. I think the Phillies winning the first World Series. That was like. Well, I watched the Eagles the season that they went to the Super Bowl. I watched them a little bit because they went to the Super Bowl in 2004 against the Patriots and lost.
Yes, with Charles Owens and McNabb. And that was the year that everybody was saying McNabb choked and everything. So yeah.
Yeah, Tom Brady was at like the start of his legendary
Yeah,
career.
he was like, yeah, prime uh Tom Brady. So when we faced him in 2017, he was like out the door Tom Brady.
Yeah,
But he was still
he was still,
pretty
yeah,
dominant.
he was still doing his thing.
Yeah.
I will say, this: the Patriots, they won the year before we beat them, and then they won the year after we beat them. And I'm like, oh
Hmm.
look, the Eagles stopped the 3 in a row dynasty trifecta.
Yeah.
Um, Granted, that instead of the Patriots winning 2 and us stopping them on the third one, we beat them in the second of the 3 series where the Patriots were in back to back to back Super Bowls.
And I think the only other team, one of them to beat them was the Giants too, when they had Eli Manning.
Mhm. Yep.
So it's funny how two uh
Really
you
dominant
know
football teams are now just utter trash. They're garbage.
yeah, the Giants and the Eagles, two of the teams from like probably the worst division from the series. Like, oh, we beat like the probably the best NFL team in history in the Super Bowl.
Mhm. It's
So
crazy. Let me go through my predictions. I'm just
yeah,
kind of shying away from it because I don't want to commit.
it's
Yeah.
hard.
Okay, the storylines are either the Eagles and the Chiefs, where the Eagles are going to get the redemption, or
Right.
the Bills and the Lions, who neither have won a Super Bowl.
That would be a very good Super Bowl as well.
I mean,
I would not be
I would not be upset
mad about seeing that.
if it's not the Eagles and Chiefs matchup. That's the matchup that I want to see.
Yep.
Obviously, if it's Eagles or Bills, Eagles or Ravens, Eagles and Ravens, or Eagles and Bills, I would want to see the Eagles go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Storyline wise, it's Eagles looking for redemption for 23, right, against the Chiefs.
Yep. Right.
But the Lions Bills game is the underdog story, not underdog, but like the
Right.
two teams with some of the worst history in NFL, both making it to their Super Bowls respectively. And I mean, that's a game that I would be like, I am happy for whoever wins and I am bummed for whoever loses. Like that, I would be really behind that game.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if the Eagles lose, I would definitely be okay with seeing the Lions and the Bills fight it
Yeah.
out. I just don't want to see the Chiefs win.
Yeah, I think we're all there.
I think everybody in the United States can agree. Nobody wants to see the Chiefs in the Super Bowl again, but we'll see. But I think that would be cool.
Yeah. So I will commit. Will I commit? Damn it. Oh,
Come on,
come
Jimmy.
on. Yeah, my heart says Eagles Chiefs to get that redemption.
Yeah. Just do it.
Yeah, I gotta go with the birds. I mean, how could I have all this gear
Yeah,
and
how can you be wearing the
and then
birds
say, yeah, no, they're not going to make it to the Super Bowl?
and say that blasphemy?
Yeah, I think the important thing is for them to have a really good showing against the Rams this weekend.
Like I said, I think if the Eagles show out against the Rams, and even if both teams, Lions and the Eagles, show out big, it's going to make that conference game even better. But, if the Lions show out and the Eagles kind of scrape by again, we're going to be that much more scared. But if the Eagles show out and the Lions kind of scrape by with the Commanders, then it's going to give us that much more hope to be like, hey, they just had a hard time with the Commanders.
We got this.
But we got to go into we got this, but we got to go into Detroit. But Philly's going to show out in Detroit no matter what. So,
yeah. I mean, it's
It just really depends on this next game, how the Eagles play this coming week, and if they win, how they're going to come into the
yeah,
conference.
I think it's fair to note that the Eagles losing to the Commanders in Washington was the game that Jalen Hurts got his concussion in like the first quarter, and we
Yeah,
two backup quarterbacks go in, and we 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 played as best as we could given Jalen got injured, and it was a hard fought battle. Commanders just happened to get the win there.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I think we're gonna have to.
But wouldn't that be the ultimate? Seeing the Commanders and the Eagles in the conference championship.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
That would be a total swerve.
I mean, 100%. That would be wild because the
Oh
NFC Championship coming back to Philly again.
yeah.
Um,
Come on. All for
I
it.
mean,
When is the
one of the championship games.
the conference game would
Their
be
next,
Sunday the 26th, they're saying here.
yeah, and I believe the NFC Championship game will go first. Um,
Yeah.
I think that's also. I think even if um no, I think the Chiefs are going to be the night game because they're the defending Super Bowl champions, right? So
Yeah.
unless the Texans pull out a huge upset, then
Right.
then if it's the Texans against the Bills, they would, and then the Eagles and Lions, they will put the Texans and Bills game first
Right.
because it's it's a higher and lower seed matchup versus your two top seeds facing off. At which again, I think the Chiefs being the defending champions will be the night game. I have myself scheduled to leave Maryland at 2 o'clock on that Sunday so that I can be home for 3 o'clock for NFC Championship game. And that's the birds are going to get there. Okay, I think.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go same picks as you, man. All the way.
Yeah.
Bird game.
I don't know how it's going to happen, but something about this team this year,
If
it's going to be a rough way to the Super Bowl, but I think we can get
yeah,
it. Our defense is playing at a stellar level, and as long as our O line and offense can continue to, you know, deliver,
we're golden. Yeah,
I think we're good. We have the best
defense.
you
Come on.
know defense. We have the top quality wide receivers, and we have the best, arguably the best running back in the league right now. So I mean, we have all the weapons to get it done.
Yeah.
So somehow, some way, I think we're gonna get it.
I don't think our defense is going to let the Lions score that high. Like
I think our defense will have the biggest game if we can if we make it there. This will be the game that defines how good our defense is.
well, it's going to define, because if we can push through the Lions, it I'll feel really like funny about how I had them going 10-7 this year.
Yeah.
If they get to the Super Bowl. I mean, the team has definitely surpassed my expectations on delivering the wins that they did, and
Yeah, both of us.
Yeah. I think you had.
So I mean, it started out rough, but hey, they definitely showed some again, something in that bye week clicked, and they just went off. So if you would have thought we'd be talking about this after during the bye week, thinking nobody was even thinking Super Bowl. They were thinking fire Nick, fire all this, you know. And even after the bye, there was still 1 or 2 weeks where Nick was doing the whole it was the going on fourth downs and stuff. We're like, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
Seriously.
so it never would have thought talk about Super Bowl, and even going into it, we're just like, don't say it, but we're getting there. But now I'm saying Super Bowl. I think we're gonna get there somehow, some way. This team's got the potential.
Yeah, I think so. Um, if let's say it goes Lions Bills in the Super Bowl, pick your winner.
If it's Lions and Bills, I'm gonna say Bills.
Me too.
Yep.
I think that Josh Allen is a freaking superhero right now. Like,
Yeah,
it's
he's determined to get something, and I think if it's that, I think Josh Allen gets his first championship there.
yeah. I do think that the Lions are the overall better team, but I just think Josh Allen is on some like Super Cena level stuff right now.
Right.
So we'll see. But Josh Allen getting those 6 touchdowns in a game and losing to the Rams is a testament to how not great that their defense is, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's a tough call, man.
It still really is tough. I mean, it can go a lot of ways. And
I actually, you're picking the Bills. My heart wants to pick the Bills, but I would pick the Lions to win the Super Bowl if they win.
And they would have a lot to go for too, because their franchise is going through a lot of heartache over the last couple of years. So they went into the playoffs last year, but they lost. But now they're having the potential of going through the whole thing as well. So they have a lot going for their franchise as well. So there's a lot of different teams that have the chances of like either getting their first or like the first appearance, this or that. So it can go so many different ways. But again, we can't not bet on the Eagles, guys. So go Birds.
Go Birds. Before we wrap this up, got a thing to talk about.
Let's get this in real quick.
Real quick. For those that missed out last week, Anthony and I, for episode 200, are doing a challenge.
Yeah.
Totally Anthony's concept idea for the challenge that he came up with in the summer of 24 and was talking about it for episode 150. I was like, something like this, I would want lengthier time to prepare to actually be like.
And kudos to you for remembering the thing that I said, because I had no recollection of what I said.
Which is strange because like it's not that strange. It's strange that I remembered it, but there's probably a dozen ideas that you and I have talked about that we haven't even touched yet.
No.
We have an artist comparison, like the MJ Prince one. We have another one that we talked about doing that's on the back burner that we're holding on to. We got to do another alternative ending.
Yeah, that's definitely coming this season for sure.
Those were so much fun, man.
Yeah, they're definitely cool concepts. We'll definitely get to one of those this year for sure.
Let us know if there is a series that you want us to cover. We did the big Game of Thrones series, which was just so fun to think what like the process that we did that, where we worked backwards and said, if this doesn't happen, how does it affect the rest of the show? And we literally got to seasons 1 and 2 at the end of it.
It got hard.
And it was like, dude, the whole show doesn't happen if this doesn't happen.
Exactly.
Like, just.
Which I think that was probably the better way to go, starting from 8 to 1. Because like you said, you can just pretty much, if you started from 1 and 2, how we were saying, like, if this doesn't happen, the whole show, like, okay, well then pretty much the whole thing's done.
It was better to work backwards. It was a lot of fun. It was hard. It was actually challenging for us to like really delve through. I mean, there's so much that happens in the show. If you want us to do any of those, let us know in the comments, email us. We'll drop all the contact info at the end, like we always do. And
Yes.
this challenge, okay, you are going to find songs that you're going to challenge me to learn how to play on the guitar, and or not or just and potentially also sing with it, right?
Yeah, so it's my thing is I'm gonna give you one of two choices. Either learning a guitar riff, either something that maybe I'll write and you do it back, or something from a band that I'm like, okay, this is something moderate that I think he can, try to redo, or it'll be some type of like thing where he can play and sing over top of. Again, something that either I uh write up, or something that I've had in my arsenal of like other people that I listen to. I'm like, oh, okay, this would be something cool to see if he can do.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I've gotten. I haven't been able to look for it yet because I was out and about all weekend, being sick. But those are the two ideas that I have. So I know Jim's going to give us his stuff this week, and maybe next week I'll give mine, so then we can dive into each of them separately.
Yeah, and I just so everyone knows, I haven't told Anthony my picks yet, and
Yeah. So this is totally
these
blind.
are currently my 3 picks, and they all come with certain parameters and conditions
Cool.
for the challenge. Number one, and I'm not going to bother sending you the video. You've seen it, and we talked about it last week.
Okay.
You would have to learn the Thriller dance. Okay, the condition would be you go like full blown zombie costume. So so and so you would have to figure out, and I can help you record it in a Thriller theme
I would probably
concept.
have to use your basement for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, we would work that out. I think you're going to wind up needing my basement for any of these. The
Okay.
second one I'm going to send you. For this one, the condition is the dancing from the video is the simplest.
Okay.
I would be adding on content for, because the dance breakdown is later in the song. I would be adding on a little bit more content because the choreography is easier. I would make it a longer routine for you to learn.
Okay.
Right? Because the Thriller dance, it's not super long.
No.
It would be that would
just the main chorus, right?
I mean the main dance breakdown that they do in the video where Michael turns, he's a zombie all the way from the walks coming forward, and then I would have you do all the way through the chorus where he turns back around and he's himself. You would, because the chorus for that section is like the main chorus choreo, and then when they loop the chorus around again, they do the shimmy 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 cat shimmy 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 here, and then they walk and do the thing, which they do in the dance breakdown before the chorus. So I wouldn't have you do that all over again and repeat that.
Right.
Second song, I'm gonna send it to you, and I'm gonna have you watch it through, which is gonna eat up some time here.
Yeah, we'll just cut it through. So
that's fine. Oh shoot, I can't send it to you because let me do this. Let me send these timestamps, and then I'll get back to those. Then I can send this link here. All right. Oh, there we go. All right.
Okay.
So I think if you, fast forward to the 2-minute mark.
Yep. I know the exact dance.
So that would be the
All right, cool.
That is like the easiest dancing
Yeah.
pick. Okay, so when you're thinking about your options for me, and whatever your easiest is would be on par with, like, you could probably learn that and do it in, if you had a couple weekends where you could put in a little time, you
Hmm.
could probably do it in a month if you really put your mind to it.
Right now, I'm thinking the funner one would obviously be the Thriller one.
Yeah. The hard option, option 3, I'm going to send to you right now.
Okay.
Um, I had it pulled up and my Instagram refreshed.
Of course, I love it when that
Yeah.
happens.
All right, here it comes.
Okay.
So you'd have to learn.
Yeah.
You'd have to learn to dance for this one.
Yes.
Like that one. That one would be like,
That would be a lot. Yeah.
you got to get in shape.
But I mean,
But the
it's not out of. It's not impossible.
it's not. That's why I was like, this would be hard. It's something that I'd already choreographed, and my my s- my eight my 7 to 10 year olds in Limerick competed it.
Right.
So I was like, if they could compete it at that age, Anthony could learn it and could do it. And the
Mhm.
choreography,
It, like I said, it would take me longer to learn this to get it perfect. Because you know me, if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna not do it half-assed. I'm gonna make sure it's, at least up to par.
yeah. So
I like all 3 decisions.
like, I thought all options gave you a choice, right? I think the Will Smith one, like I said, light, easy. You could do it, like I said, in a month. And I think that the Thriller thing you could master, and you could do it in 3 months. And I think that the um because people listening and watching don't know what that is. It's on
Mhm.
my Instagram page. My handle is at the beginning of the episode if you want to check it out. My cousin Matt and I are dancing in my parents' basement. The song is Butter by BTS, and it would take you time to get that nailed down and execute it really
Yeah.
good. But I have to learn to play guitar, so like I'm already at a disadvantage where I gotta like, for that choreography that's hard. The choreography is all syncopated to the music for that breakdown part. It would be,
I think I have a hard riff for you where it can kind of be like this would be like a good grade of difficulty where I just learned it within the last
mhm,
year, which is a riff that I always wanted to learn but never got to. And I'll tell you off air because we'll do mine next week,
cool.
and I'll tell you off air which one I'm talking about. And I'm thinking also maybe for the one that if you want to sing it, we bring you into the studio and we track you singing it and playing the guitar tracks. Then we'll do the video of you, playing it back and everything.
We have options.
So we got a lot of options. But yeah, I like all 3 of those options. I like Thriller as number 1 because I'm a big Michael Jackson fan, so I think that would be pretty cool to kind of recreate. I mean, who doesn't like trying to replicate Michael Jackson? I
People that think he's a bad person. That's all.
I think taking the Will Smith, yeah, uh, I think taking the Will Smith route would be the easy cop
Yeah.
out. So I'm like, that would be my third. And then I think the third video, the one that you created, would be my second. Just because if I feel like okay, maybe trying your one and seeing if that works, but if not, I go with Thriller or something. Maybe we'll see.
I think extra credit. You do all 3 of them.
That would be extra credit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could literally start with the Will Smith one as like, all right, this is how
And then just break out.
this.
It's like zipper into a zombie.
Yeah. No, I'm saying like you could you could learn the Will Smith one just to get your feet moving, just to get your shoulders
Yeah.
moving. The Thriller one, you could like you would learn it and then you would practice it, and then I mean, if you want me to coach you through it, I will likely need to. I
Yeah.
will likely need your help with
I was
some
gonna
of my
say
stuff.
we'll probably both have to coach each other through certain things. So for
Yeah,
sure.
it's not like a do it on your own kind of thing.
And with the fact that, with my job, with having a couple of days off during the week, that's when we'll be able to, have our time where we can, hey, I need a little bit of help here. Okay, I'll help you
Yeah,
here. I need help here. Go to you. Blah blah blah. So it's
it's
perfect.
gonna work out, man. This
Absolutely.
is episode 160, I believe, that we're on right now.
This is 159.
Okay, okay. So
We're hitting 160 next week.
160 next week. That will buy us the 40 weeks to
Yep.
get us started. So
This is getting
this is
good.
getting good, y'all. Let's wrap it up, Ant, if you're ready to go.
Yeah, man. Thank you all for joining us again. This has been the One Set Podcast. My name is Anthony Irvin. Again, with my best friend and buddy, Jim Green. You guys can check us out on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, anywhere on social media at One Set Pod. Hit us up on the Gmail. Let us know about what we were talking about earlier. Any certain themes or specific things you want to hear or see back on the podcast. And we got a lot of football and wrestling coming for you guys. So all our wrestling and football people, be prepared. We're on some good stuff coming for you guys. Uh, Join our Patreon. We have a lot of good stuff coming up on there with some private watch longs for you guys. So, and we also have a merch booth. We have a merch site. So that is the link in the description. Go buy some merch, support the pod. Other than that, thank you all for the continued support, and we will see you all next week for another brand new episode. All the love, guys.
All the love to you.